G'day and welcome to the English in the NRL Round 8 recap, and we got to start with some bad news for the Canberra Raiders. Unfortunately, star recruit John Bateman, who'd been lighting up the NRL, is out for 5 to 8 weeks with a fractured eye socket. Terrible news for both the Raiders and John. Bateman had been killing it. He'd been really thriving in the NRL. I think he was coming third in the Dally M and had earned the respect of everyone, become a real cult hero here in Canberra, but he'll be back. It was a real shame. Him and Viliami Kikau had been having one of the best one-on-one battles of the year. Bateman had made it personal and had just decided, Viliami, I'm coming after you. He's only a small man in stature, but he's got a massive heart, and he really, really, really wanted to take Kikau down. Kikau might be the size of a mountain, but to John Bateman, that's just a challenge. They were really going at each other. Bateman was giving as good as he got, until Viliami Kikau just brushed him aside. I think he caught an elbow, got it in the eye socket, and for Bateman to stay down, you knew he was hurt, and unfortunately it has required surgery. And yeah, he'll be out for 8 weeks. Bad news for the Raiders, but they have positioned themselves in third place, so they're in a good spot coming into the tough next couple of rounds against the Roosters and the Rabbitohs. The other three Englishmen all had big games. Elliott Whitehead, now we've got a bit to chat about Elliott, because Elliott Whitehead has become the hitman of the NRL. He's now taken out 3 players in the past 2 weeks. Last week, it was Daly Cherry Evans, which has now thrown the Maroons' Origin side into chaos. And now he's thrown the Panthers' side into chaos. Well, they're already in chaos, but now it's even more so. He took out Isaiah Yeo, flipping him to the ground, dislocated shoulder. He then exacted some revenge for his great mate John Bateman by grabbing Viliami Kikau, pulling him to the ground, catching Big Villy the kid's ankle underneath, and Viliami is awaiting scans, but he'll be going ta-ta for a couple of weeks, I would imagine. It's a shame because Kikau was going so well, but Whitehead, he's a tough, tough bugger. And look, there's been a bit of conjecture about his tackling technique, but there is nothing illegal in it. He's just a hard man who brings people to ground very quickly. What can you do? Stay away from him if it was me. But anyway, Elliott, keep doing what you're doing. You're playing great footy. Now, joining him in the Great Footy Stakes, and this is the man I want to talk about, Ryan Sutton. The English lock forward for the Raiders has got to be coming into calculations for Wayne Bennett's test team later in the year, because he is playing the house down. He's gone up a notch the past month. He's really got some confidence. Now he's got a few games under his belt, and he's not only charging strong with the ball, he's actually doing a bit of ball play now, doing some good link work, and he is looking like he's going to stay in that Raiders team for the year, barring injury. He is playing great footy, and Josh Hodgson is back. He was brilliant against the Panthers at Wagga, nearly nipped a couple of 40-20s, as well as just running the show, and they'll need him to continue that because, as I said, Roosters, Rabbitohs next 2 weeks, Josh has got to be on his game. The other English in the NRL, Chris McQueen, was a non-event as the West Tigers were brushed aside as Latrell Mitchell put on a show for the ages. 26 points and a hat-trick, nearly got a fourth, saved a couple of tries. It was Latrell did everything. The West Tigers did nothing, and unfortunately for Chris McQueen, there was nothing he could do about that. Also, not making an impact was James Graham. The Ginger Ninja came flying out of the blocks, as he always does, and so did his Dragons, but after a 14-0 lead, dissipated in the face of the fortress that is now Bankwest Stadium for the Eels. The Parramatta fans just roar and roar, and the Dragons just capitulated. So not good news for James. Now, the big success story, apart from the Raiders, are the Burgess boys at the Bunnies. Leading the way was, of course, Slam Sam, and he will be no doubt being thanked by his coach Wayne Bennett for winning the battle of Siebes and Benny, as Benny's Bunnies tore the Broncos apart. Sam leading the way, I think it was 38-6. He nabbed a try as well as monstering the baby Broncos. Tavita Pangai, you know, I was expecting more from him, and it really was men against boys. Sam just monstered him and monstered the rest of the pack. Thomas had a great game as well, nearly ran for 200 metres, and George again was solid without being spectacular. But the Bunnies, too good. Sam Burgess is back to his best. Great news for the English fans. So, unfortunately, John Bateman, not good news, but he'll be back. All in all, a good week for the Englishmen in the NRL yet again. It's Team List Tuesday, and I'll be back tomorrow morning with the Round 9 preview, which also happens to be the very first NRL Magic Round.
Watch every game of the NRL, plus the Grand Final and State of Origin, from anywhere outside Australia, New Zealand or the Pacific Islands. Go to watchnrl.com and take the footy with you.